Having chosen the path of the Jedi Guardian, Mace Windu mainly focused on mastering lightsaber combat, and in doing so, he became a formidable warrior and was eventually considered to be one of the greatest swordsmen ever inside the Jedi Order. Just the simple fact that he developed one of the most deadly forms of combat should say plenty about him. This form was known as Vaapad, and it was the 7th form of combat which completed the Juyo form. He was so proficient, in fact, it is said that only the distinguished Grandmaster Yoda could outspar him in combat. So exactly how did Windu become such a prominent master of combat? A great factor that played into Windu's fighting style was his awareness that his greatest character flaw was his enjoyment of fighting. He actually would revel in getting a chance to combat his enemy. And naturally, given the nature of the dark side, this was a very dangerous trait for a Jedi to possess. In fact, Windu intentionally created Vaapad to help channel his inner darkness into something more positive and reinforce his belief in the light side of the Force. In his eyes, that was the main purpose of Vaapad. It proved his devotion to the light, since using it for such a long time did not tempt him to fall to the dark side in the slightest. As a matter of fact, Mace Windu was known to be able to ponder matters of the dark and light sides of the Force with such clarity that the only one who would be his equal to this matter was Master Yoda. As such, Mace Windu mastered the Force in many ways. He was known for his resistance to the lures of the dark side, channeling his inner darkness into his attacks to help him serve the light side of the Force. Perhaps the biggest proof of this was that he utilized some of the darkest powers known to either the Jedi or the Sith without succumbing to his aggression, such as, for example, the horrible power of Force Crush. Force Crush was possibly the most evil power of the dark side. It was used by some Sith during the millennia and even the Jedi Master Mace Windu. This force power would literally crush the life inside of an organic being, meaning of course that it was used on sentient beings with organs inside of their bodies. The use of this power was clearly seen in the 2003 Clone Wars series, where during the kidnapping of Chancellor Palpatine, Windu jumps before Grievous and proceeds to use Force Crush, which left his internal organs damaged and to barely make it through. It is from that point on that Grievous developed his cough that we famously heard in Revenge of the Sith. Since the origins of this force power were from the dark side, Force Crush was considered a taboo and a forbidden force power that the students should never learn, similar to other dark practices that would tempt a Jedi, like for example Force Lightning. However, Mace Windu was not the rule, he was the exception. As we mentioned earlier, he saw this force power together with Vaapad as concrete proof that his allegiance to the light side could never be deterred or shaken. For those of us who played Knights of the Old Republic, we are quite familiar with Force Crush. This, however, means that together with KOTOR, Force Crush as well now belongs in Legends material. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Would you like Force Crush to make it back into canon, and in what way? Should we see it in the films, in the animated series, or maybe get reintroduced through the comics? Alright Star Wars fans, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, feel free to leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss out on any of my future videos that I will post on this channel. Have a fun day my friends, and in closing, don't forget, may the Force be with you always.